Hey guys, Ken here from the Retro Toyscapades channel in Malaysia. Some big news over the last weekend on these new images of the Castle Grayskull toy playset that's incoming soon from Mattel. The playset is based off the Netflix CGI He-Man and the Masters of the Universe series that has a new season coming in March. Now, where the show is concerned, my overall take on it is that the animation was extremely well done, the storytelling was fun, it's aimed towards a younger crowd obviously, but it also took the time to throw a lot of nods towards older fans. Remember that scene in the first episode? You had these two guards just standing around shooting the breeze and they were talking about playing a game of MOTU. Remember that? Yeah. But I do feel that in a lot of ways this universe would have worked very well and perhaps even better on its own. But it's just that it appropriated the Masters of the Universe branding and did revisions to establish character designs that I personally did not like, but I'm sure that there are many others out there who probably did. Of course, there was a whole slew of action figures that were released together with the show, and I did mention before that I do like the caricature style of the figures overall, but I have been on the fence on getting them. Now, a big part of the reason is also the fact that these figures have not even turned up in Malaysia yet. I'm not sure what the international rollout on these guys are, but I kind of think that Mattel Malaysia probably has their hands full at the moment. You've just got too much Masters of the Universe product and versions of product on the shelves at the moment, from Origins to Revelation to Mega Construct to the Eternian Minis, and all of this is stuff that only 40-something-year-olds are currently buying. But based on the images of the figures that I've seen online, there have been some really eye-catching stuff and some stuff that's probably a bit irresistible. And I gotta tell you, I really do dig some of the character designs like Beastman here. There's just something about this Beastman. I mean, even though it's a pretty radical redesign, but it's just something about it that feels so nostalgic to me because it reminds me so much about the classic Raza figure from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, alright? Specifically Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Part 2, the movie. Remember, this guy was in the movie, then they did this pretty good looking toy of him, and I think that the character and the figure is pretty awesome. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments if you guys see any similarities here between the two characters. Now, when it comes to this particular toy line, I will have to say that I have been impressed as to how fast they've been pumping out the entire range of products for collectors to build up an entire universe to own. Now, aside from the heroes and villains, of which I think they've given us quite a generous assortment of characters to date, they've also been pumping out other stuff like creatures, like this Battle Cat right here. Now, this Battle Cat, honestly, is pretty spectacular. I don't know how deep I want to get into this particular toy line, but I am definitely getting that Battle Cat. In addition to that, they've also given us an assortment of vehicles like this Ground Ripper right here, which is a variation of the classic Road Ripper. And we also have something like Skeletor's Hell Cycle. I think, it's something like Skeletor riding a chopper bike like he's on, Ghost Rider or something like that. Yeah, so they've covered vehicles as well. And then they've also given us stuff like this massive play environment right here, this Snake Attack play set, which looks very impressive, especially with the box artwork like that. It's definitely something unique. I've not seen something like this in a while, and I do find it very, very impressive, all right, that they've been able to give us such a diverse range of items in just this short period of time. But now they've gone and announced what is possibly their biggest offering for the series to date, this massive Castle Grayskull playset. Now, this Castle Grayskull, the way it appears here like this, is how it's more or less represented in the new cartoon. So if you're not familiar with it, if you've not checked out the cartoon for yourself, maybe go and take a look, but you can see right from the get-go that it does have a lot of design homages to the Castle Grayskull that we remember, all right, the classic Castle Grayskull look. That is also represented in the cartoon. But this thing here is kind of like, it does appear to be more like a portion of the castle, like maybe just its front facade, not really so much an entire castle as we would be more familiar with. Now, this is not so much a construct where you have play environments on the inside, not like the classic Castle Grayskull or even Snake Mountain. This is more like a battle platform. It's like something that it's like a base, a rolling mobile battle base, something like that. It reminds me a lot of those classic Transformers bases like Fortress Maximus or even Scorponok, the classic G1 Scorponok, where it seemed more like a weaponized docking bay, where characters could sort of like just get together and get behind a wall of safety and mount an offensive against the enemy. All right, so it's not really a place for them to sort of like chill out. There's no environment for them to take a nap or have a cup of coffee or something like that. Yeah, so it's not really, it's not really a play set in that sense, but it's more of a base. All right, so this is what this Castle Grayskull seems like to me. Now, based on the release statement that went out online, Mattel generously provided a lot of shots of this thing in action. There's a shot here of a kid's hand manipulating the castle. Yeah, at least I think that's a kid's hand. Judging by the franchise, I mean, it could be an adult, like a small adult. Anyway, you see this thing being operated, and what really caught my attention was the fact that it's announced that this thing comes with lights and sound, all right, electronic lights and sound, and that's fantastic. That's something that I've not seen represented, I think, in a Masters of the Universe product in a hell of a long time, all right, and it really brings back memories of the classic 2002 era Masters of the Universe Castle Grayskull playset. Okay, that thing was, frankly speaking, awesome. Not only that, that was in fact the very first Castle Grayskull playset that I actually ever owned. All right, way before I ever got my hands on a credit card and got an eBay account and was able to find the vintage Castle Grayskull online. Yeah, this was the very first one that I actually owned for myself, and I still remember getting it home, unboxing the damn thing, and it was so freaking exciting to see the thing in operation. This thing was amazing. Oh yeah, it had lights, sounds, firing projectiles, all kinds of electronic features. I think it even had speech. Yeah, there was like a voice box there that would say like weird things, commands, instructions, stuff like that. Trapdoors. Everything was fantastic about this playset. All right, it was one of the best playsets I think that I ever actually owned. The most interactive one that I had in my collection up to that point. But it had one major drawback though. As impressive as it was, yet the material that was used to make the castle, I think, was just simply too fragile. It was really just too thin and fragile. And over time, I discovered to my horror that through repetitive use, storage, moving around, the thing just cracked. Okay, the damn thing just broke apart in so many different places. I checked with a couple of friends of mine that own units of this thing as well. Same damn thing happened. Okay, same freaking thing happened, and it's just shocking. Honestly, it was the best playset that I had for the longest time. All right, it's mostly, I would tell you honestly now, in pieces. All right, but this current new one that's coming out here is the first time that I'm seeing an interactive Castle Grayskull, all right, in a very long time. Now, among the full list of features that it's supposed to come with include a mechanized drawbridge that opens and closes, right? Freaking awesome. Power up flames, trigger activated trapdoor, just awesome shit, okay? Firing projectiles, removable turrets, 20 light up and sound combinations. All right, so this is a hell of a lot of play features for this one small play set. Well, actually, I don't think it's going to be very small. I don't know what the size of this thing is supposed to be. It looks to scale up pretty well with the size of the new figures, which are probably about 5 inches in height. So I really do want to see more pictures of this thing actually in hand when it's actually available. But for right now, I feel that honestly, if I did see this thing, I would definitely feel the urge to want to purchase it. One thing that I'm probably still not too crazy about are the sections of the playset that appear to be quite bare and open. And it did call back memories of that 2011 Thundercats Tower of Omens set. All right, I don't know if you guys remember this one, something like about 10 years ago. And this thing was paired in with the new cartoon for Thundercats at the time. The playset looked freaking impressive in the box. All right, when you saw the box, it just looked freaking impressive. It was like calling back to something like the Cat's Lair and stuff like that. However, out of the package, it just turned out to be some bullshit. What you got was sort of these flimsy looking pillars that you could just position around, and they seem more like a backdrop. All right, it just didn't really seem like a play environment. It just seemed like a backdrop that you would just have there, like a diorama, and it was just such a massive disappointment. All right, they could have done so much more with this thing. Just had one premium freaking playset for that toy line. But they went the route of this, Tower of Omens thing, which I still kind of have nightmares about. So, but what we've seen of Castle Grayskull, obviously here looks a whole lot better. So I want to hear in the comments what you guys think of this playset. What you think of this new Castle Grayskull that's coming out. Are you guys collecting this particular series? I know I don't really cover this stuff on the channel that much, simply because I don't have any of the figures, right? None of them are in Malaysia as yet, all right? If they do turn up, probably, yeah, I might get a few and start talking about them on the channel. But for those of you, wherever in the world you are, if you have any of these figures, let me know what you think of them. Let me know if you're excited for this Castle Grayskull set. And I'll catch all of you guys again soon with more content. Thank you and take care.